Take it easy on the gavel.
Hit that thing, Grant.
Welcome, everybody. We got a good crowd here tonight. It's good to see everybody. First thing we got on our agenda is a silent prayer, or the prayer. So, Mr. Barton, we call on you as author.
Let's pray. Most kind and gracious Heavenly Father, Lord, we just so humbly bow before you once again today, Lord. Lord, just asking your blessing upon our meeting. Lord, we just pray for wisdom for our supervisors, Lord. Lord, in your guidance, Lord, as they lead the county. Lord Jesus, just please watch over all of our citizens, Lord. We just pray for all those that are sick and afflicted, Lord, those that have lost loved ones. We pray you just watch over them all, we pray. Amen.
Amen. All right. Do the pledge. Miss Willis, would you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Down to number 2, approval of the minutes. I think we can take all these at one time
Yes, sir.
if we get a motion.
I'll make a motion that if there's no question about them, that we take all of them at the same time.
Thank you, Miss
March
Willis.
9th, March 11th, March 24th, April 7th, April 7th, and April 6th.
That has a lot of meetings.
We had a lot of meetings.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you, Mr. Thacker. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye as well. Any opposed? All right, approval of agenda. I don't think we have to accept anything else this
Yes,
month.
Mr. Chair, if you would, on item 15C, we have a lease for Cumberland Pine Mountain Trail Riders, and we will need to remove that from this month's meeting.
Okay.
And then we also have one addition. Our clerk had left an addendum for you, and it'll be 17B. And this is going to be to add an ordinance for the state compensation board bonuses that we got notified about last week. We'll have to do a public hearing on that. It'll be a second public hearing to schedule, so.
So we'll need an approval of the agenda and omit 15C and include 17B, ordinance to pay bonus.
If no one else has any additions, I'll make a motion that we approve the agenda as presented with the additions and the subtractions.
Thank you, Miss Willis. Have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye as well. Any opposed? All right, now the consent agenda. Think we should be able to take all the consent agenda
Yes, sir.
at the same time. So that's consent agenda A through I.
Is the sheriff here to give his, or?
He's not. He's going with Virginia Sheriff Substitute.
If there's no questions, or if anyone wants to speak on them, they may, but I'll make a motion that we approve the consent
To
agendas.
include
And, Ms. Willis, we have one that we need to add to that to
with our
approve.
expenditures to include
Yeah,
Oh,
our
Sturgill.
attorney, yes,
Okay,
Okay.
pay our attorney with the
with the
expenditures.
addition of our attorney's, statement. I saw it here.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye as well. Any opposed?
I noticed litter control's been really busy picking up
Oh, yeah.
around the county.
And that's a shame, man, that they have
Yes.
to stay so
They picked
busy.
a lot up this past month, so.
Yeah, I noticed they have been really busy this last month.
Yeah, they had 581 bags.
Wow.
Picked up this month. so.
Really? That's just so sad. People throw out trash.
All of the reports were good.
They were very good information in them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
animal control been busy also.
Anybody else got any comment about the
I don't.
reports?
I have one comment about the building department. I asked They only have 26 applications at the health department for septic systems, and that's sad.
For what?
For septic systems, 26. When I worked, I've done 300 and 400 at a time, but the rules in Richmond have prohibited and made it so expensive for people to put in septic systems that we should have some kind of exemption because we live in different topography than Richmond does, or up in northern and eastern Virginia. It's just ridiculous. That's all I got to say.
They forget we're down here. They forget we're down here till we pay our taxes.
Huh?
They forget we're down here till we pay our state taxes.
Yeah.
All right. Number 5, public comment. So we'll have Mr. Sturgill read the rules here.
All right, these are the public comment guidelines. Time limits. There shall be a time limit for each individual speaker of 3 minutes. A representative of a group may have up to 5 minutes to make a presentation. Speakers are not permitted to donate time to other speakers. No speaker's time shall be extended except by unanimous consent or a 2/3 vote of the board members present. Prohibited conduct. Persons appearing before the board will not be allowed to campaign for public office, promote private business ventures, use profanity, use language which insults or demeans any person, and/or when directed at a public official or employee when not related to his or her official duties. However, citizens have the right to comment on the performance, conduct, and qualification of public figures, make frivolous statements, interrupt other speakers, engage in behavior that intimidates others, or address the board on issues that do not concern the services, policies, or affairs of the county.
Thank you, Mr. Sturgill. So if anybody would like to make a public comment, come up to the podium, state your name and your address, and if you would like to call in, the number is, I've got to get back to my thing, 276-333-0357.
Good evening, board members. For those who don't know me, I'm Nathan Edwards, a resident of Crooked Branch. I would like to thank each of you for your time and this opportunity to speak to you tonight on behalf of myself and some residents of Crooked Branch concerning our water issues with the PSA. We have been a customer of the PSA since it was installed sometime in 2006. We have always had water, although we may not have always had a lot of pressure. I have used it for livestock, washing our house, even filling up our swimming pool for several years. Something happened sometime around October of last year. We were going to use the water, but there was none. I do have a water well, but sometimes during the dry times we run out. Mr. and Mrs. Jerry Thomas spoke with Mr. Dennis Baker, the PSA, concerning our issues, and he said there was nothing he could do. Afterwards, the Thomases even wrote a letter to the PSA, and the pressure did increase a small amount, but did not resolve the problem. I myself spoke to Mr. Dennis Baker of the PSA, and I would like to say that he was always been nothing but courteous and helpful to me. But he also told me he was sorry and there was nothing he could do. He further explained it to me this way. He said there is a pressure reducing valve, a PRV, at the top of Crooked Branch that holds pressure back to protect the line. He said the PRV never worked properly since installed, and last year they replaced the PRV with one that does, reducing our pressure. He also explained that the line pressure at Sand Lake is at 250 psig, which is the maximum allowable operating pressure, the MAOP, and they cannot increase the pressure for fear of jeopardizing the pipeline at Sand Lake. I have worked in the natural gas industry for over 30 years, and although natural gas lines and water lines are different, they are similar. We also use relief valves and comply with MAOPs. So I do understand the need not to exceed the MAOP in the interest of protecting the pipeline and most of all the public safety. Sand Lake's elevation is 1,300 feet, and is approximately 1.8 miles to the PRV on Crooked Branch, which is an elevation of 1,710 feet, which is almost 2 miles with an elevation rising over 400 feet. I asked Mr. Baker if another PRV were to be installed below Thomas Mountain Road, 0.6 miles from Sand Lick, would it be able to increase our pressures and also be able to decrease the pressures at Sand Lick? He said it would, but it would cost too much money and they do not have the funding for it. I asked him if he knew how much a PRV and equipment would cost to be installed, and he told me he would guess it would be between $75,000 and $95,000. I asked him if we could get a grant, and he said he didn't know and suggested I talk to the Board of Supervisors. So here I am, and here we are. I have actually tried to find the price of a PRV. I'm not sure of the mainline water line, if it's a 4-inch or a 6-inch, but I found a 6-inch PRV between $5,900 to $10,000, with some special applications valves upwards of $18,300. I'm not an engineer, and I do not claim to be one by any means, but I feel that it could be installed for a lot less than what Mr. Baker said. I'm asking the board if you can help us in getting a good estimate for installing a PRV and equipment and pursuing a grant for the project. My wife has investigated grants through the Virginia Department of Health website and found that grants can be applied for throughout the year. I know this will not be resolved tomorrow, but we have paid the PSA for 20 years and feel we deserve better service. I believe installing a PRV below Thomas Mountain Road would be a win-win solution by giving all of us more water pressure up Crooked Branch and lowering the MAOP at Sand Lick, therefore protecting the PSA pipeline and protecting the public. I have a list of 10 families who have stated that they have little to no pressure at their homes, and I can give you a copy if you would like one. And we would greatly appreciate any help you can give us, and if I can give you any assistance in any way, please feel free to let me know. Thank you for your time and attention.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nathan.
Anybody else for public comment?
What- Mr. Chairman? Larry,
Yes.
do you have to have he said you had to have an engineer to install this PRV? What do you say?
I did talk to the director today, and he told me that it would probably take some engineering work to figure out what and all they need to do up there. And he was gonna look into it, but, he said that they had the maximum PSI at the pressure relief valve that they could put there, which was 200. But, he said he was gonna look into it and see if there was a solution that they could come up with. I told him you people just, that don't have good water or any water pressure out. From what I understand, at times you don't have anything, right?
Well, when they first put it in, I've never had a lot of pressure. I live on top of a mountain, and like I said, I've always had water at my home, but we have a water well too. But we started to use the water for our swimming pool, and we didn't have nothing. It was nothing. And like I said, after the Thomas's Road and lever, it got just a little bit, but I still can't fill my pool up, can't use the water at the house. We have it at the barn, but not at my house.
Is there anybody lives above you, Nathan?
No.
Because I know you're
But
pretty
not
high.
at that road.
Huh?
Mr. and Mrs. Jerry Thomas live about straight across
But-
from me on the next block, and they're in the same situation. And there's actually 3 families over there that have the same issue. And that we've had it for 20 years, and I understand, he told me that the PRV didn't work properly, and they put a new one in and held back the pressure, but I do know that they could put another one in, but I'm not sure the price, and that's when they would probably have to have an engineer to figure out what they would need for this or that, but,
Isn't that something that VCDA would let some money loose on that, they won't.
You can't
No,
use that money
not
for
water
that.
projects.
They're coming on plateau, ain't it?
There's a
Possibly.
fund there, yes. Cumberland Plateau, they've got the water fund, but,
Yeah, but
you know, I
that,
can, if the board would like, I can reach out to Dennis, I mean, but.
I'll reach out to Dennis also. I'm chairman of the PSA board. And I'll reach out to Dennis to see what we can do and see, if we can do anything. He says right now the pressure's as high as he can turn it on count of, blowing the pipes, you know.
But if they put one of those valves in, they could lower that pressure and raise our pressure. They could put that valve down below their house.
Well, that's where we have an engineer,
Yeah,
that we hire an engineer. So I'm sure Dennis will have him look at it and see what the expense would be.
Have you had water pressure before?
yeah, we've always had water until like September. We've had water, but not a whole lot of pressure. And
But the pressure's worse.
he had told us that, well, we could buy an inline pump. Well, inline pumps cost between $600 and $900. I've checked on them, not counting any fittings or anything. But he says you gotta have water. They say you have to have water before it won't pull water. It's gotta just push the water. And at my house right now, I do not have no water, period.
You have no water?
Well, with the PSA, I have a well water that we use.
I know we had the same problem at Baker Ridge, they didn't have any pressure, and they replaced the water lines and put in pumping stations.
Put a pumping station, I'd be happy with that.
Well, then, on Baker Ridge, they had a problem at the very end, they didn't have no pressure. And so they installed, do you know what the inch of the line is coming up from,
It's 6, he said.
I know mine is a 1-inch line. I
1
think
inch.
it's 2-inch coming up. See,
Two-
it comes up my steep driveway, and I've got two
Yeah.
neighbors that forks off, and my meter is probably about at least 200 foot below, down under the hill. And Mr. Baker did tell me that they was only required to put 20 pounds at the meter. And he said I had 30. But I still got about 200 foot up the hill, and that's where I don't have the pressure at.
don't take a real, I mean, to push water, it's according to the way I understand it, there's a friction and then there's an elevation you go to, but push water is much easier than, I don't understand why they couldn't put some kind of pump in that would,
Well, they probably could, but the thing
That's-
is money issue, I guess.
well, I meant just for how many homes? It wouldn't have to be a huge
I've got
pump.
10 families who say they got low pressure or none. My neighbor, actually, I talked to her the other day, and they actually thought that they had a leak because they didn't have no pressure. And said it takes forever to fill up her washing machine. So, or take a bath, they say the knob on the shower, if you push it in for the shower to run,
Mm,
it won't stay in unless you hold it in.
that is aggravating,
Very aggravating.
very aggravating. If you don't have any water.
Copy of the name.
How many people live on
10 families?
She's-
Crooked Branch? 10 families?
No, there's all kinds.
Oh, but just 10's out of
Up
water.
there where they live.
I do know from Stanley, up the first part is the steepest part. Like I said, that 0.6 miles, it goes 200 feet within a half a mile. Well, it's another mile and a half almost to the PRV, and it only goes 200 foot that distance. But that's why I said they could put one of them in down there to hold the pressure from Stanley to protect it. So it don't overpressure, and then it would back our pressure up to give us more pressure.
Well, I think you know what you're talking about.
Well, Mr. Dennis, he agreed with you. He said it would work, but we don't have the money. But he said it would cost $75,000 to $95,000. I've got a picture of one on my phone, which is a 6-inch valve, and it's either a 4 or a 6. And I know with the 6-inch is more than a 4.
He's
And-
probably counting, Mr. Chairman, he's probably counting labor.
Labor, well, I figured the
Yeah, he's
PSA
probably counting labor and all that in engineering and everything in with that.
Well, engineer may be that, but
Yeah.
I figured the labor, I figured the county had their own backhoes. They dig up water leaks every day probably.
Yeah,
They
but
use their
we
own-
pay employees to do it.
And they,
So
well, they
he-
already do. They do
Yeah.
them every day.
Yeah, I know, but he's probably can't, I don't know that he
Yeah,
did.
I don't know, I'm just,
Mr. Hall,
Yeah, I think you, what?
I think Chris had something you have.
You got-
address it?
You're the expert.
Well, I am an expert. Take podium, please. Of course, not speaking on behalf of Mr. Baker and the PSA, but my knowledge, not speaking for Ms. Willis, obviously, but Dixon County Public Service Authority does not have a county-wide hydraulic analyses model. His problem it would be addressed within the hydraulic model, which is a model of the current system. He's got a volume problem, not a pressure problem. But the PSA needs to create a hydraulic water system model that identifies deficiencies his house would turn red, for example. There would be a node placed at the end of the line of his house. His house would turn red. And then you put it on scenarios. If there was a fire down here, what would happen to that house? If there was a fire here, what would happen if we put a pump here? What would happen, et cetera? And to my knowledge, their engineer is Thompson Litton and their project manager is Zach. And I've spoke with Zach in the past, and that model does not exist. Matter of fact, my firm that I work for created a section of Newberry Ridge. There's sections created. There's not a combined model. And without having a combined model, you can't look at the big picture from the plane. You just out in the field turning valves and trying the best you can and in regard to Mr. Baker, that's all he has to go on.
Yeah.
I would recommend, Shelby, that, and I'm speaking for Thompson Linton too, and I'm not trying to do that, but the Cofield Water and Wastewater Fund through the Cumberland Plateau Planning District Commission is due I think it's 2 weeks from now.
2 weeks.
And they would fund that. I would go in for that as a planning grant. And that is to update line size mappings and the creation of a hydraulic model. And that would identify deficiencies. And then you can go back to that pot of money once a year for the pump station or the PRV or whatever. And that's all grant dollars. And, an average cost of a PRV is about $150,000 to $200,000. But it does, what I'm saying is Mr. Baker can't go in the field and say, okay, this, let's just throw this out there. Because it ain't going to work, and it's got to be health department approved. So that would be my recommendation of how the county would extend an offering of recommendation to the PSA to handle that.
I think there's more areas than just Crooked Branch. I think
There is.
Honeycomb, I think.
And Dennis and them do the best job they can putting out fires. That's probably a bad thing to say, history. But he does best he can. But with the $1 million or million feet zoom view of things, you can see and notify see where they are and make a capital improvements plan to address those issues. But now, one thing I will say, Shelby, and you're probably well aware of this, is you can only have 2 open applications. I don't know if the PSA has any open applications on the Cofield Water and Waste. I don't think that they do.
I don't know that we do.
I think you closed it out, your last one.
Yeah.
And, of course, Debbie Milton is the contact over
Yeah,
there.
Chris and I serve on that board also.
Okay. Well, and I mean, we're going to discuss myself with the board later, but I mean, that's something that I could assist Dennis in the application
Okay,
for
thank you.
rather quickly, if need be.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
So I think you've got it on everybody's radar now. So there's no quick fixes to, in my understanding of the government world, what little bit I know, but we appreciate you coming and letting everybody know that there's an issue.
We've had it, and I don't have it at my house
Yeah.
right now today, and it's hard to fill up a swimming pool with the well water that's not very great,
Yeah.
Listen, we have an old system. Part of it was Big Caney's system, and we're trying to replace it as we get funding to replace the Big Caney. And you all may have had the Big Caney, I don't know.
No.
You didn't, you had just PSA.
PSA, that's all.
But we've been working trying to even repair the old Big Caney water system that they put in, water lines.
Now, where we was at, though, we've had it for 20 years,
Yeah.
until last year. Way down.
Yeah, we appreciate y'all coming though.
Thank you.
We will reach out and try to see if we can find a solution, the best we can.
And Dennis will work hard to.
Well,
Yeah, he will.
I appreciate it. I appreciate your all's time tonight. I mean, we'd like to see him go home and eat supper probably.
I'm already
And thank you, Chris, for your input. Appreciate
Cooked
that.
all day, but I didn't eat.
All right, anybody else? We got any phone calls?
No, sir.
If there's nobody else, I think we can get a motion to close the public
I make a
comment.
motion, we close public comment.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
As well. Yeah, number 6, the EMT class. Would you like to give us a little
Sure.
background information on that?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Back last year, the County Board of Supervisors had supported a workforce development for local emergency services by funding an EMT certification class taught locally, which resulted in participation from multiple county rescue agencies. And of course, now Mr. Albert McPeak is teaching a class for Dickinson County Ambulance Service. And Mr. Terry Bartley from Hayside Rescue reached out to me asking if the board would consider helping fund individuals that might be interested in taking that class. The cost for the class is $750 per participant. And of course, if, as with the previous class, if the board chooses to support this request, then consideration would need to be made to offer support to all the other county rescue squads as well. You know, not just Hayside Rescue. If you did decide to do this, it probably need to be for any agency. But I'll try to answer any questions anybody's got on that. That's what Mr. Bartley had shared with me. I've not spoken with Mr.
And
Peak or anything.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
what did you say the cost was?
$750 per participant.
Oh, that's a lot. And we don't know if they're gonna stay once we get them trained.
Right, correct. And I think
So-
the last class we had 20-some people had taken, and I think that maybe 5 have passed their
only 5
test in
passed.
that, I think, so
It's a hard test.
I
it's a
took
very
it.
difficult test. So.
I can't believe it, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
He had 20 in his members and only 5 passed it?
Last count I heard, I think that's what it was, so, but
That's not a good base rate. I mean,
it is a tough test, so.
well, I've taken the test, and I've also been EMT instructor, but I took it at Southwest Community College, but we had a high pass rate. I don't understand why, you can't keep doing the same thing and get the same result. How many, is he doing this now?
It
Does
starts
anybody from
May
Hayside
9th.
know, starts next month? Okay.
Yeah,
How
it
many
says on
members
it
has he
May
had?
9th.
I think we should require them to stay,
Yeah, I do.
with every who we pay it to, like,
They gotta pass the test.
once they pass the test, that they stay at
Right, that's
least
what we did before, they had
6 months or a
Right, an
year.
agreement that stay with that agency, with that volunteer agency for so many months or work so many hours or whatever the agreement said. And then, Mr. Sturgill, I think you drafted that last time, so.
Had there been any others show interest in this beyond Hayside?
I know Hayside had a couple, I think. I'm looking back at Logan and, oh, you have one? You have one interested? You've got 2 at Clintwood that be interested, so. And
That's
Sandy
fine.
Ridge said that they may have a couple that would be interested from what I recall, so. Another option would be if the squads wanted to do that and enroll them, then the board could reimburse, maybe after they pass their test or something as an incentive, and you could reimburse the squad back for that. You could cover it on the back end if you chose to do that, or whatever the pleasure of the board might be, so.
What's the thought of half of it? 375 out of the 750. If we could do that.
I don't know. For me, that's like, if you're taking the test and you don't pass it, then that money's just went away. But if you pass the test, I have no issue with, reimbursing, as long as they sign an agreement or something that they're gonna work for the county, one of the county agencies for a certain
So-
period of time or a certain amount of hours.
I would say a year.
What was last time? Was it 6
A
months?
year.
How many hours?
I would say or hours. but,
Don't
say
look at it.
Yeah.
I don't remember. That's what I was thinking we had.
Yeah, I think it was in there.
Whatever the pleasure of the board is, whatever you all think. Will could draft whatever agreement
Chair?
that you want to do.
I think one of the issues is the rescue squads are trying to get paid for to try to recruit more people to do the job. It's very difficult to find anybody willing to work as an EMT or a driver for the rescue squad. Well, it's hard to find anybody to work anywhere, but they're having a difficult time trying to get people. So that's what the incentive is, I believe, to try to get people trained so we can have more responders, which, are, in my opinion, our people's safety and health is our number one priority, is mine. So I think we need to do something.
How do you feel about the reimbursement part of it, or just,
Or the hours that they require, that we require so many hours if they,
require them to work for one of the county agencies?
That'd be something that I'd have to keep up with. It'd be better if they stayed a year or something with the agency. See Nathan back there, what do you think?
I think a year's time limit was satisfactory. They'd have to pull with the county agency for a year.
That was the last one, that was the one that I took.
So with this, we'll have to have a motion. If you want to accept that with whatever terms that. feel
Nathan, how many
necessary.
people you think from each squad would be adequate?
So we've got two that signed up for the class already.
Mr. Chair, what do you think about maybe funding 2 for each agency? Did a 20 something. And we might get, the agency can pick the 2 people they want to send and probably be more likely to pass.
Yeah, we got pulled up the last agreement. It was a 12-month agreement that they make 24 hours per month, same as Logan said, 24 hours per month during the next 12 months from the date of this agreement. So
Did they do that?
the ones that's passed are still within that time frame, yes.
I
need
think
to continue with that.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like there needs to be some type of incentive for them to really study and pass this thing and make sure that, they're putting in that extra effort. That's my personal opinions on that. I have no trouble at all, giving the money out, as long as we get something in return for that.
Well, I'll put that in motion that we let them, as long as they pass the test and stay within the agency a year.
And reimburse the agency
And reimburse,
after.
yes. I'll
At
put
what
that-
point do we reimburse the agency with that motion you made? Is it after they pass the test, or is it up front?
No, I think I'm sure he wants the money before they have to wait a year. Won't have to wait a year, I don't
I
guess.
believe Richard suggested we do, that each one of them send 2, that we would, was that?
2
what
from
you
each
said?
agency?
2 from
And
each
then if we
agency.
Instead of
reimburse
an
them.
unlimited amount?
If they send 2, that's $1,500 that we could reimburse.
$4,500 with the 3 agencies in the county, so.
Last one, I think
It did.
Correct.
Oh, yeah, well, that's
put
good.
that stipulation back in as well.
Did the rest of them did they repay the county? No? That's not good.
The reimbursements probably work better with that,
Yeah.
if they pass.
That's what I think. How long does it take them to finish the class and take the test?
3 months.
I'll look
yeah.
back at these guys, I don't know.
Probably, I'm not sure how often we're gonna meet, but it normally takes anywhere from 3 to 6 once every week, I think it may be over in August.
Okay.
It starts May 9th.
Is that something that if we go to do a reimbursement of the $1,500 for the 2 people after the class, is that something possibly feasible for the rescue squads to handle?
Also, I think that the squads may be able to.
Yeah.
They know that
So
up
we
front.
reimburse the squads at the
Yeah.
completion.
I think so.
And then if they complete it, we'll reimburse them.
The squad.
So is that your motion, or you need to amend your motion?
But I need to amend the motion that we,
I don't know what her motion was.
Can you repeat the motion you made, or if not, I would,
Yeah.
I don't
'Cause
know
I
if
don't-
I repeat it or not, make a motion that we,
just go ahead and make a motion then.
I'll make a motion that we done what we did the last time, and if you want to do 2 per, it's all right with me, if that's what you want to do. You want to do
With-
that? 2 per squad.
Sounds like that would be reasonable from what they've got interested right now.
I think it would cover
Yeah.
what the requests
2
are.
per
so
squad, I think that
2 per squad.
make it 2 per squad.
And reimbursing the squads after the completion.
They're passing
After
the test.
Correct.
And with the knowledge that they're going to stay a year,
We
or
can
work
have
at least
those
24 hours a
agreements
month.
Correct.
I have a question about that. Does the EMT have to go with the rescue squad every time they have a call?
You have to have at least one EMT on the truck.
Haven't one at least EMT?
But ambulance personnel, they have to be.
What about the fire department? Do they have to have EMTs?
Not unless you are a first response unit registered with the state.
So you have to have certain certification if you're going through rescue squad, if you're going to be able to work the, if they're on they're on an IV or respirator or something. Do you have to have something besides the EMT? There's an EMTA and,
EMTA, EMTB.
Yeah.
EMTI.
so do you have, what if you get a call from somebody that's down here at the hospital that's has to have IV support or something?
EMTs can take transports with basic IV fluid. But if they have any type of medication or on a ventilator, they have an EMT drive. So if you've got a paramedic in the back or an intermediate or advanced, you have to have a basic EMT.
Thank you.
All right, we got a motion. Do we need to repeat that motion?
I can repeat it again.
I wrote it down. I'm sure Brenda's got it, so.
Brenna's got it, haven't you, Brenna?
I'll second it.
So we got a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye as well. Any opposed? Motion passes. Now, we're on to number 7, 2026 Audit Engagement Letter.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. In your board package, you'll have a copy of our 2026 audit engagement letter. Of course, Robinson, Farmer, and Cox has performed our county audit for several years now. They do a good job with the county doing this. They audit the county with this proposal. It's the county, the school board, DSS, behavioral health, and the PSA. So we would need a motion to pass this and give me authorization to sign, because the chairman signs in myself, so.
So we'll need a motion.
I make a motion that we approve for the county administrator and the chairman to sign the audit engagement letter.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye as well. Any opposed? All right, number 8, Health Plan Document Amendment.
Thank you, Mr.
Gordon?
Chair. So, of course, Mr. Chair, members of the board, as you know, we are partially self-insured. We are self-insured employer that has an underlying insurance that's going to cover reinsurance for any claims over $50,000, our reinsurance coverage would pick up and cover those. But being a governmental employer and being self-insured, then our plan has to meet certain certifications with federal and state government. And our Jeff Green, our health insurance broker, reached out to me and Karen earlier this month and provided a proposed, this would be amendment number 12, proposed amendment number 12 to our plan. And it's actually just to update definitions in our plan based on guidance by the federal and state governments as far as on how they should be. So I don't really know much more about.
I think correct, and I think it's just updating that to make sure that we're in compliance with current state, federal law.
Thank you, Mr. Barton. We'll need a motion to accept that.
I'll make the motion that we, to the amendment 12 of our health plan document.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye as well. Any opposed? On down. Did we have number 9?
We do have number 9 on there. I know there's nothing in your packet on number 9, but basically with number 9, what we really need to do tonight is go ahead and schedule a public hearing for our next meeting in May for this, because let me look at the date. The May is May 26th, I think. It would be May 26th. So if we could consider scheduling a public hearing May 26th at 4:45 p.m. For our Sand Lake polling location. And Richard is the Sand Lake supervisor.
4:45.
He, myself, and Kayla are still doing some legwork on this, but what we'll have to do, the county will have to update our ordinance as far as that dictates where our polling locations are. You know, currently, in our ordinance, it states that the former Hayside Town Hall was our voting location. Then with the Corps, buying that property and, it will be demoed, we voted this last time, our registrar, Kayla Deal, done an emergency move to move us to the Hayside Municipal Building. And so we were looking at a more permanent move. We had met with the town before, Richard, myself, and Kayla and some of her staff went down. We looked at the Hayside Trail Center, which would be the former theater building. And the town, when they built that, they had us in mind as far as a place to vote. It does have an elevator. This last time, as far as with the voting, I know there were some complaints as far as getting in and out of the municipal building. There's a lot of steps, or if you are handicapped and need to use the ramp, it's a pretty lengthy ramp. So we are working through some particulars on that, but it would probably be best if we go ahead and schedule a public hearing May 6th at 4:45, and that'll give us time
May
to.
the 26th or 6th?
May 26th at 4:45, and that will give us time to get everything updated, and then we will have to advertise that. We'll advertise that in the newspaper as well as online and on social media as far as where that'll be, because we need to try to get a place with our Sand Lake voters. Bless their hearts, they have been moved the past several years to a different location.
Almost
And none of
every
these
year.
locations have been ideal by no means. So I'd really like to get them settled in a good place to vote. That's going to be easily accessible. Like I said, the Trail Center does have a elevator. And of course, they've had some construction delays with that building because we were originally going to vote there with this emergency move. But then they ran into some issues and construction did not get completed. So like I said, we are still doing a little legwork, but if, someone would care to make a motion to schedule this public hearing for us.
What about the parking there?
We'd have to park across the road, and then the curbside voting would be, I'm sorry, I said 4:45, it's 5:45.
That's
so-
what I thought.
Yeah, that's really early, wasn't it? So,
I
I'm
just want to
sorry.
say, they're not following.
The former law building that was there, that was taken down, there's still a concrete slab. We'd have to do a little work as far as to make a place in there, but we'd do the curbside voting beside of the building, so the workers could come down and the cars could pull up there. But most of your voters would have to park across the road and cross the road. So, like I said, again, Mr. Thacker, myself, and Ms. Steele are still doing some work on that, so we don't have everything finalized. But, Ms. Steele said that if we could get it done in May, that would really help her as far as getting all the notices out and everything that she has to do, so.
I make a motion that we schedule the public hearing for 5/26 at 5:45 for the public hearing on the both Sand Lake polling location.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye as well. Any
How many
If I I'd really come an hour early, we could do that.
How many times
else
Four 45,
have
like
we
what else is
changed
going
your
on?
vote?
Larry's wanting some company over there.
Don't we have to have a,
We got a couple more at the end.
that's
Plug
what I
in there,
thought.
so.
You definitely need a permanent place.
All right, number 10, the memorandum of understanding with opioid abatement authority.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Of course, if you recall, this MOU is for the operation of the Wildwood Wellness Center. We were awarded back in 2024 a grant from the Opioid Abatement Authority. It was a cooperative grant, and we have other counties that are participating with us in this. So with that, all subrecipients must have these agreements in place, and this MOU outlines the responsibilities for operations, compliance, reporting, and allowable uses. This document does not create new obligations to the county, but rather formalizes and protects the obligations already in place under the terms of this grant. So, of course, Ms. Croncott's here with Economic Development that's working with them, and Mr. Sturgill has reviewed this and things. We'll try to answer if anybody has any questions, anything that anybody has. So. And this follows the same, and looking at here, this follows the same outline as the MOU that you've already executed with the, in our grant agreement, I should say, with the Opioid Abatement Authority. It's just following those same terms down and carrying them out to the operators, so.
I'll make a motion to approve the memorandum of understanding for the opioid abatement authority.
I'll
have a
second
second?
it.
Thank you, Ms. Kaiser. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye as well. Any opposed? Number 11,
We had something on that.
Clinchco Missionary Baptist Church Shelter Designation.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Of course, recently, the town of Clinchco and Appalachian Voices have been working on some projects in the town of Clinchco, and they've identified a need for a shelter location closer to the town. You know, right now, Ridgeview High School is basically our primary shelter in the county, and we have a church or two that's like a secondary, you know, but our primary and basically only shelter, I think I'm correct, Mr. Thacker, is Ridgeview.
That is
And so
correct.
what they're looking at for transportation purposes and, you know, being closer to the town, they would like for Clinchco Missionary Baptist Church to be a shelter with that. And with that too, the town, you know, and working through App Voices, they're working on some grant funding right now. They'd like to have a shelter that has backup power abilities. So in order to apply for a grant to do some work at the church to put, I think they're looking at maybe solar with storage or something to be able to provide power. You know, that'd be a great place like in the winter, you know, during the rain or flooding, you know, I'd be a little concerned about using that as a shelter. But for winter storms, when it's really hard to transport people and get them up on the ridge, they'd have a place right there in town as a shelter. But in order to apply for this grant funding, then the county has to actually designate that as an official emergency shelter in order to do so. So I talked to Mr. Thacker once the town and App Voices had reached out to me about it. And as emergency management coordinator, he's seen no issue in doing this. So we looked at what the procedure would be. And I got with Mr. Sturgill, and he drafted what you have before you, the memorandum of understanding, which would be between us and the Clinchco Missionary Baptist Church. That outlines that basically, you know, they own the facility and we provide the facility. And of course, anytime there's a shelter that the county's involved, you know, we have to operate the shelter. And of course, DSS is our arm that does that, and they do a fantastic job of coming in anytime there's, you know, an emergency. They come in and their staff comes in, and Red Cross helps us, but they do a fantastic job at operating a shelter. So this just outlines the responsibilities for the building owner, which would be the church, and then the county, who would be the ones operating the shelter. So
Has anybody talked to DSS about this, since they'll be the ones operating it?
we have not. I have
There's
not
no
any. This
emergency.
happened, you know, fairly quickly, trying to pull everything together. So
I assume, Mr. Chairman, the church is in agreement.
they have. We have spoken with them, and of course, App Voices in the town have been working with the church on this. So.
You know there is some grants for churches.
Is there?
Yes, there is some grants that churches can apply for.
Mm-hmm.
And that might be one of the needs that they would support.
Right.
Comes out of Texas. That there's a fund set up for just churches.
I'm not sure exactly who. They were looking, at Virginia Energy, and then this is somebody else I think this funder is for this one. But I'm not sure who because I've not been working directly with it.
If it's designated as a shelter, there's several nonprofit grants out there that can be utilized. to
I'm sure that
shelter.
helps as well, but I can definitely see the benefit as far as for transportation and
Yeah.
stuff, having something right
It
there
will help,
in town, because transportation during
and on the road.
emergencies are difficult to get to sometimes, so.
So we'll need a motion to accept the MOU.
I'll make a motion that we accept it, the MOU for the shelter.
With the Clinchco Missionary Baptist Church.
Yes. I'll make that
I'll
motion.
second it.
Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye as well. Any opposed? Number 12, proclamation, Older Americans Month 2026.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Every May, many groups across the nation celebrate Older Americans Month. And it's a time, each year the county designates May as Older Americans Month as well. They adopt a proclamation, and Mr. Brian Beck, CEO of AASC, Appalachian Agency for Senior Citizens, had shared the attached proclamation with us, and our clerk, Ms. Robinson, had updated that with the county's information. But this year's theme is Champion Your Health, and it focuses on prevention, wellness, and personal responsibility as cornerstones of healthy aging. If you'd like, I'd be glad to read this proclamation, or if someone else would like to read it, then.
Did anybody like to?
Let Larry go ahead and read.
Okay. Let me read this. So, Older Americans Month 2026, a proclamation. Whereas May is Older Americans Month, a time for us to recognize and honor Dickinson County older adults and their contributions to this county, Southwest Virginia, and the nation. And whereas through their wisdom and guidance, younger generations are able to follow them and carry into the future both cultural and historical knowledge. And whereas older Americans improve our communities through intergenerational relationships, community service, civic engagement, and many other activities. And whereas communities thrive when individuals of varying ages, backgrounds, and abilities have the opportunity to participate and live independently. And whereas Dickinson County knows the importance of both supporting and providing the resources and support needed for older adults to stay involved in their communities, reflecting our commitment to the citizens of this county. And now therefore, the Board of Supervisors of Dickinson County does hereby proclaim May 2026 as Older Americans Month. This year's theme, Champion Your Health, focuses on prevention, wellness, and personal responsibility as cornerstones of healthy aging. We call upon all residents to join me in recognizing the contributions of our older citizens and promoting programs and activities that advocate for access to preventative care and support independence.
Thank you, Mr. Borden.
Mr. Chairman, since I'm probably the oldest one in the building,
You want,
I'll make a motion that we accept this. This old one can't only go today because I went to the ball game last night.
See, no, but you went to the ball game.
I'll second that motion.
thank you. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye as well. Any opposed?
Joey, I think we're all coming up there behind you.
It'll take you a long time to catch up with me. But I am proud of my health. And I
Well,
have
very
taken
blessed.
care of my health.
That's a good theme this year.
Yeah.
All right, number 13, agreements. UniFirst Service Agreement. Mr. Borden, would you?
Mr. Chair, members of the board, as you all know, something we have been talking about due to issues, it's a safety concern, with our solid waste employees. We are looking at changing the requirements for the safety apparel that they wear during their job every day. At last month's meeting, it was decided to put our solid waste employees back in uniforms, which we did many years ago, and we've kind of gone away and went to uniform allowances. And I think that this past month, we've worked at 2 different companies, getting quotes and looking at service and things like that. So we have narrowed down, and we have before you a proposal from UniFirst, which would be to provide uniforms for our solid waste department. And that would be at a cost of $156.51 per week. This money is currently budgeted in our budget to do that. And at the same time, we've looked with our maintenance department of going and putting them in uniforms as well, and that would be at a cost of $18.41 per week on that. So you've got those two proposals, and then you have the agreement with UniFirst, who our attorney has looked at for us. And I will answer any questions on that, and then we'll entertain a motion if you'd like to do the agreement with only solid waste or solid waste and maintenance. So.
Should do both. Mr. Chairman,
Thank you.
may I speak?
Yes.
I think we should do both,
I think so too.
There.
because they're out
To
in
represent
dangerous
us.
conditions and places too. Our maintenance is.
So
It's a good representation of the county too, to identify, they work in a lot of the different agencies that may not know our guys sometimes come in and go and they'll identify them as being a county employee, because we do require like our building official and our rental assistants, to be in branded county apparel with their department on it whenever they're out of their office, so.
Good point.
I'll make a motion that we do the solid waste and our maintenance, and let Mr. Barton go ahead and proceed with getting those.
Thank you, Ms. Willis.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye as well. Any opposed? And the next agreement, the Dickinson First Presbyterian Church.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. What you have before you here is going to be a revocable license agreement. Grant Belcher with Dickinson First Presbyterian Church had reached out to me this past month, inquiring on for the church to get permission to park in the lot across the road. They used to park in that before they tore the building down. They had the landowner's permission, and they just wanted to make sure they had the county's blessing on that. And of course, I talked with Mr. Sturgill, and when he looked at the covenants from the Corps and stuff that goes in against the property, sometimes like we'll have on the agenda a little later here, at least with Clinchco Missionary Baptist, as far as like with parking, and I know Flemingtown Church, we lease some land to them for parking, but Mr. Sturgill said it's best just to do this revocable license agreement, which gives them the right to use that, and it protects us as far as with liability coverage and things like that. So we're just asking for consideration of this agreement with Dickinson First Presbyterian Church. So.
Don't have no issue with it, so I'll make the motion that we allow Dickinson First Presbyterian Church for us to sign this agreement with them.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye as well. Any opposed? On to 14. Casino gaming tax proceeds.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, what you have before you is going to be a resolution of the Dickinson County Board of Supervisors regarding the casino gaming tax proceeds usage. And of course, we're required, the Code of Virginia, when the casino was established, these revenues are shared between the localities and the Bristol Transportation District. And as part of that legislation, each year, as we're working on our budget, we have to do a resolution and present it before the authority on how we intend to use those funds. And of course, we've always used those funds for education and public safety. The three options are going to be education, public safety, and transportation. So we always use our funds for education and public safety, and these funds have enabled us to be able to do more with those departments. And so we're asking for consideration to pass this resolution stating how we plan to use the funds. And then, of course, after our current year closes, then we have to actually do an affirmation and provide the information on how we use the funds back to them. But this is how we intend to use the funds for fiscal year 27. So I'll answer any questions if anybody has, but this is the same resolution that we have adopted each year in the past, just the dates have been updated. So
it's pretty much a required
it's a required part.
yearly
It is
resolution.
more of a housekeeping thing we have to do every year. So
Motion to accept that.
I'll make a motion, we approve the resolution for the gaming casino tax proceeds usage.
Got a second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye as well. Any opposed?
I forgot to vote, but
Ah.
I was looking at my wall, sorry.
All right, down to the Raft Resiliency Committee. Ms. Hall, or Dr. Hall?
Let me start us out, and then if you have anything to add.
Here to answer questions.
Sure, okay.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Chair, members of the board, of course, as you all know, we've been blessed to be included as a part of this raft project that's being worked on currently within the county, and many of you have been to those meetings that we've had here at the building. And then, as I'm looking, I know Mr. Hall currently serves on the Energy Committee with raft, and Ms. Cronkite is a part of a committee, as is myself, and we're going to have Rachel, and I'm looking around, there may be some others here with us tonight as well. But the whole goal with this, we've had a tremendous amount of community participation, gathered a lot of data, and we're looking at ways on how we can improve the county. And with this first one, of course, the Resilience Committee, just more so looking at, being resilient, not just to to natural disasters and things that might happen, but economic resiliency and other things as well. But as part of this effort, the RAF Resilience Committee was identified and developed to support long-term planning related to economic stability, emergency preparedness, and community recovery. So at a previous meeting recently, members of the RAF Resilience Committee presented to the Board of Supervisors, providing an overview of this work and the importance of coordinated multi-sector approaches to addressing community challenges. This presentation highlighted the need for strong partnerships, clear governance structures, and defined roles in implementing projects tied to resilience and recovery efforts. And of course, in your package, you have the resolution, the Dickinson County Resilience Committee resolution. Then you have the charter, which would be to develop, lay out what how the committee's organized. And then the committee recruitment information that tells kind of how it would be established and who would make up that committee. So Ms. Hall, as you said, is here with us tonight and would do a much better job at answering questions than I would probably. But at the same time, I'm going to take just a minute and plug. Ms. Hall has also been working with us here in the county, and for second week now, we've had the food truck radio that she's brought from Wise here to Dickinson County and Clintwood over at the Ralph Cummins Stadium. And I've been both times, and I know seen Miss Sluss there last night again as well. But had a great turnout last night, and I hear some of the food trucks are selling out, and over 400 people last night. So we appreciate your help and what you're doing here in the community as well. So
Different hat, but same.
it is, but I still had to recognize you for that. So
Love of community.
we
Amanda,
appreciate
you're
that.
doing a great job. Dana was there. I was like we were talking before, it was good food, not only good food at a reduced price, but also good fellowship.
It
And
is.
that's it. That's, publicly here, I'll just say, that is the purpose of the rodeo. I mean, we love having good food and options and nothing over $10, right? It's Monday night dinner, but what is really beautiful and the whole purpose of why the rodeo was started in the first place is to provide a space for communities to come together. And when you're sitting there and you see 400 people laughing, talking, sharing a meal, kids playing, adults playing games, it is a really beautiful thing to watch. And
We had to bring more tables and chairs in this week, and I'm being told that you need more tables and
I
chairs next week. So.
so I want to say thank you. So the food truck rodeo is its own entity, operates separately, and so we have, with the support from the town of Clintwood, that's their space, and then 400 people. So we really appreciate the county's support as well. And these things don't happen unless come together and support. And I always say, people ask me all the time, well, but you're the Wise Main Street Association. Why are you coming over here to Clintwood? Or why is the Wise Main Street? Because we believe strongly in towns supporting towns. And in our area, where do you shop? You shop in Wise. Where do people, we all are one community. And so when we can support each other any way we can, it's important.
Sorry to sidetrack the conversation, but I
Sorry.
just felt like I needed to
I'll
recognize
put
you
my
for
rap
that.
hat
So,
back
okay.
I'll go back to the day job. Thank you.
Well, we appreciate all the stuff that you're doing, all the hats that you wear. And you might want to plug the Veterans Dinner donation.
Oh, yeah, thank you for the county. So, well, I haven't even advertised it yet,
Oh,
but
yeah?
anybody in the audience that likes the food truck rodeo, you're getting a sneak peek.
Oh,
We
sorry.
always do, no, we always do theme nights, and so we will be having 2 for sure here, a couple more, but one will be Memorial Day. I can't do
Okay.
that. Memorial Day is a Monday, and so the rodeo goes on. But Memorial Day rodeo will be special. It'll be a Veterans and First Responders Recognition Night. We already have several donations from folks around the county, providing free meals for our veterans and first responders. So the more donations we get, the more free meals we can provide that night. Meals are $10 a piece. So if it's a $1 donation, then that's 10 meals that we can provide. So let me know. Happy to provide free meals at the
We might-
rodeo for veterans and first
We'll
responders.
make sure.
We'll also have a wolf pack night, and we have sponsors for that as well that have stepped up to provide free meals for so many teachers and students, and that date, though, is not set yet.
If we
Thank
want
you.
to,
Go
Chairman,
ahead.
if we want to contribute, what do we make the check or whatever out?
Yeah, if you want to contribute, you can email me, Amanda, and the email address is wisemainstreet@gmail.com, all lowercase, letters, no spaces, and then I can let you know if any business is interested, or just find me on Facebook, Main Street Food Truck Rodeo. There's like 3,000 of you that already have, so track it down. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, back to the committees. So if the board wanted to accept these committees, to create these committees, we just have to have a motion to.
They would adopt the
Want to do both of them together?
resolution.
We got 3 of them to do, right?
Two.
Separately?
There's 2.
We have
We're going to do
resilience
both
and
of them
energy
together.
opportunity, so
Oh, okay.
we have to do them separately, so.
We do them separate.
Mhm.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve the energy, not the energy, but the
Resilience.
resilience committee.
Thank you, Rhonda.
Somebody needs a second.
We have to have a second.
I'll second him.
Thank you. Any discussion?
Is this going to, somewhere down the line, may end up being some more work for Larry, or will the committees be doing this?
I'll be participating on the committee, and I'm glad to sit on the committee with them, so.
Okay.
Yeah. And they can be terminated anytime if they prove to be non-beneficial to the county or adds burdens to the county or something.
Oh,
I mean, we can,
But these will just be added to your list of committees
Yeah.
that you have and with the appointments the way it is now,
yeah,
so.
and they're non-paid.
Correct.
I will say that the goal is to alleviate some of the pressure from the county
Yeah.
by
Good.
having, yeah, and that there's up to 3, I think, appointees, right,
Mhm.
for each board member.
Yeah.
So that
And I
is-
think I noticed in here, it meets quarterly, so it's not a
Yes.
monthly meeting, so, okay.
But the ultimate goal is
Yeah.
to be a benefit to the county
Right.
for research and
Exactly.
outreach and information.
An advisory committee
Yeah.
to the board and to the county.
All right, we got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye as well. Any opposed? Now on to the energy one. Do the same thing, we'll have to have a,
Mr. Chair, you're on that energy committee. If there's anything you'd like to share, you're on the current committee under the raft program.
well, energy is a necessary thing that everybody's got to have. So we've got solar coming, we have nuclear talks, around the United States, everybody's.
We're not talking about.
We're not talking nuclear here.
Let's be clear on that. We're not, we are not talking about nuclear.
I mean, you have the data centers using all the energy and
That's
stuff, so there's a lot of discussion how we're gonna
Controversial.
power all this demand. And that is part of it, your wind, your solar, nuclear, hydrogen. There's so much involved in energy that I think if we could have a committee put together for that, to do some research, some community outreach, community education. Once something is presented to us, that we have a better understanding of what our options are and community benefits that we can get. So I think it's really important
Well, how
because
many
it's,
on this committee? How many people are on this committee?
well, we don't have it.
We're going to just have, we're going to start it?
Yeah,
So
we're
I'll
gonna
just jump in
start-
really quickly. I
yeah.
think the goal here is that this would again serve as an advisory committee.
Yeah.
And one of the main objectives would be around, for example, like Chris said, or Chairman Hall said, there's a lot of talk right around data centers, or there's just developers that serve
Yeah.
them. They like our land a lot. So they come, but having an idea and an understanding, this committee could present to the board, or what can we ask for? What are we working with? So many counties and localities aren't sure what they're able to ask for, what's on the table. They often just get the proposal that the developer gives them. And so having a committee like this can sort of provide a playbook that says, hey, here's what community benefit agreements look like, and here's what certain developers are giving other communities. And here's certain things that you can't ask for, right? Citing
Yeah.
agreements. Also outreach and education, and provide a really neutral view of what are the pros and cons of all these different choices.
Environmental impacts of each.
Anyhow, economic, so to be able to have an advisory committee in-house to the board, to the county, that can help provide that information for you and to the public, right? To make really informed decisions is the purpose of this committee.
Chairman, am I saying?
Yeah.
I've been reading something about some local governments were not being transparent about data centers and things of that nature, because it's controversial too, right?
Well, it's the powering. The big thing about the data centers, and that's where what Chris was talking about, I think, is, and I definitely have no desire to get into.
No,
It's
very
The big
controversial.
conversation is, how do you power those data centers? Land is one thing and whatever, but they take an inordinate amount of power
Water too, isn't it?
to power them. And so the question becomes then, how do you power them? And so it's not if you're going to get asked. At this point, it's when. It's when you're going to get asked about these issues and developers. And so having that advisory group in your, like I said, in-house, that can be really transparent, honest, and neutral, and say, here are the legalities, here are all the things, here are the pros, here are the cons, here's what you can ask for, here's what you can't because of federal, state law, whatever. It's a benefit to the county to know their position, right? So you go into any conversation that may come, or any request, fully armed.
When is your next meeting for Dickinson
That's
County?
a good question. What is the date today? I don't even know the date.
I don't
Sorry.
even know.
It's the
Our
last,
meeting is the 20,
last
It's the
Thursday.
last Thursday.
or 28th, I'm sorry, the 28th is when our meeting is of May.
28th of May?
Yes,
Uh-huh.
28th.
Will it be here?
Uh-huh.
At what time?
It is dinner at 5:30, meeting at 6.
Thank you.
So again, this is just a committee that's supposed to be a benefit to the county and,
And structure, Chris, if I'm not mistaken, you guys decided, and I will say the raft, we don't, the actual community committee decides on the framework and how that will
Yeah.
look.
so we've done the stakeholders, like we'll have a town member,
Yes.
council member on there, PSA, fire
Yeah,
rescue.
so this isn't, the committee's not created, just like the resilience, this is more to approve a resolution to have a committee.
Yeah,
So then you can move forward with finding members and
Yeah.
through those stakeholders.
yeah, but we want all the stakeholders in the county to be a part of that and have citizens on there too as well.
Well, we'll make a motion to approve the Energy Opportunity Committee Are they, is that
Energy
good enough?
committee rec-
Energy.
Mhm.
Thank you, Miss. Or Miss Sluss. Do I have a second?
Do you want to second it since you're on the,
I'll second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye as well. Any opposed? Thank you, Miss Hopper.
I
You done
figured you.
great. Much better than I did.
We'll see you Monday.
Yeah,
Everybody come to the rodeo.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
thank you.
I figured you would like to have made the motion, but you can't as chairman, so I'll give you the chance
Thank
to
you. I
do the
appreciate
second.
that.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting I can second stuff.
Yeah, you can say.
All right, number 15, leases. I think we're at leases, are you?
Yes, sir.
Clinch Cove Missionary Baptist Church.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, members of the board, Clinch Cove Missionary Baptist Church, as I mentioned earlier, currently leases a lot from us that they use for parking. And of course, this is a year-to-year lease, and there's no suggested changes to the current lease. So if it is the board's desire, then we just need a motion to approve this lease extension.
Thank you, Mr. Martin.
I'll make that motion that we approve the lease with the Clinch Cove Missionary Baptist Church lease.
Have a-
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye as well. Any opposed?
Can we do a lease with Clinch Cove Freewood Baptist Church,
We
but that's
do.
not up yet?
No, there are various times throughout the year, so.
Oh, okay. For some reason, that's what I was thinking, but that's
It's
fine.
in October.
Is it October, so?
Okay.
Alright, 15B, double wide, behind the courthouse, Mr. Martin.
Thank you. Again, we have another lease on the agenda tonight for the double wide behind the courthouse. This is located at 161 Courthouse Lane. We're currently, we have our litter control house in that building right now, and I'm looking at moving them back over here to operate out of a free space that I have here. And we're looking to lease this space. Of course, we received the grant funding that we did the MOU on previously through the OAA on that. And so with the Wildwood Recovery Center, they're looking for a recovery resource center that they would do here, in town as a place people could come in and do things. So, we have to make, with the OAA funding, we'll have to do the handicap ramp back and make a few upgrades, but then we're looking to lease that property to them to give them a place to start out with these services. Hopefully they'll do well and grow into something different, but for now, we're just looking at doing that. So you have a draft lease before you for consideration. And I'll try to answer any questions anyone has, so.
I make a motion that we do that lease for the double wide.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Uh-huh.
Aye as well. Any opposed?
Next one we marked off, Chris.
Next, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do my paper over here
I
as I
know.
go.
It's hard to do both.
All right, 16, appointments. Cumberland Plateau Regional Housing Authority, we have an appointment up.
Is that Truman?
It is, it's Truman is up, and of course, Mr. Byers had sent a letter to the board that was included in your packet recommending to reappoint Truman to this committee. He's served on the committee for quite some time and currently serves as chair of the Cumberland Plateau Regional Housing Authority. So he is eligible for reappointment for another 4-year term if that's the desire of the board, so.
I didn't even know he lived here.
I meant to call his brother today to see where he did live, but he can still be on that committee.
Is
Unless
that the
somebody
same
else-
Truman Mullins that used to work at the DSS?
It is, yes.
Last time I saw him was at Food City.
Thought they sold their place and moved out. Maybe I was wrong.
I'm not sure.
What does it do? I mean, this Keith Byers, I know, runs that over there in Lebanon.
Right, and of course, the property in the county that they manage is gonna be
Is
Centennial
Centennial
Heights.
Heights.
That's the
Centennial
property
Heights,
that
too.
Cumberland Plateau Regional Housing Authority
Yeah,
owns and
it's under
manages.
that.
And so they have a board, same as these other authorities, and, Mr. Mullins represents Dickinson County and again, currently serves as chair, so.
Didn't reappoint him, or you want somebody else?
We just need a nomination to put somebody.
Well, I don't know if
You'll
you
open the
need
floor
to.
for nominations,
I
of
think it
course,
should
we
be
don't need a
somebody with
second,
you.
we'll just vote in order
Yeah,
to receive
yeah,
it.
we just need a nomination and no second.
I'll nominate Truman to Mullins to continue with that.
Any other nominations? All right, hearing none, we'll ask for a roll call vote here for Truman. Mr. Thacker,
Aye.
Miss Willis,
Aye.
Miss Sluss, Miss Kaiser,
Aye.
I as well. And our next appointment, Industrial Development Authority.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, the Kennedy District Representative, Mr. A.C. Blevins, his term expires on May 31st, 2026, and A.C. is an excellent representative on the IDA, and of course, this is going to be Ms. Willis's appointment, so he is eligible for reappointment if you so desire, so.
I'm gonna nominate A.C. Blevins to be reappointed on the IDA.
I'll second.
Any further nominations? Hearing none. All in favor of AC being on the IDA? We'll start with Ms. Kaiser,
Aye.
Ms. Sluss,
Aye.
Aye.
Ms. Willis, and Mr. Thacker.
Aye.
I as well.
And AC stands for Alfred Clifton.
Never
That's
knew.
good to know.
Really?
Yes.
I used to call him House.
He's a good member.
Yeah, he
Very
is.
good member.
Alfred Clifford, I never know that.
17, schedule a public hearing. Fiscal year 2027 proposed secondary six-year plan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll try to get the time right on this one, so I don't bring you in an hour early. So, of course, each year, as you'll recall, we have to, we do a joint public hearing with VDOT to discuss the secondary six-year plan. And Mr. Joey Mullins had sent us a message earlier this month and asked us to get that scheduled for our May meeting, that we are required to hold that public hearing in May. And he will be providing the information to us soon as far as what they have in the plan and what they're doing. So, once we get that, I'll share that out with everyone. We will be advertising this. We'll have to advertise it for 2 weeks on that. But I would propose that we do that at 5:30 because, we've got the voting one at 5:45, and we try to allow 15 minutes at least for this first one, so.
Sometimes his is longer than that, isn't it?
Ms. Robinson looked back last year, and I think we did 15 minutes
Okay.
on the one last year. but-
Yeah.
That's May the 28th?
Yes, ma'am,
At what time?
at 5:30,
You may end up being here at 4:45, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
the rate we're going, so.
We're getting closer.
And
28th or the 26th?
26, I
I think
guess,
it's
so.
26.
Is it 26?
And our clerk will send out an invite on that with these added public hearings, since it is a little earlier than our meeting, so. So we need a motion to set that public hearing.
I'll make the motion that we set the public hearing for the 6-year proposed secondary plan.
I'll second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye as well. Any opposed? Motion passed.
Can we have our addition there, our 17B, Mr. Chair?
Thank you. I was gonna pass it up.
I caught you.
All right, 17B, ordinance to pay bonus.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and of course, as part of the budget process, the General Assembly had passed the Compensation Board, giving a 2% increase to all Compensation Board-supported employees. And of course, in order for the county to pay a bonus, we have to adopt an ordinance that allows us to do so. So I am proposing that we have a public hearing to adopt that ordinance at 5:55 PM on Tuesday, May 26th, immediately preceding our May meeting, so.
Just send that out. Yep.
It's gonna be a busy evening.
I make that motion that we set that public hearing. Have we already?
Have a second?
I second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye as well. Any opposed? Now, 18, closed meeting.
The other one is only.
Ms. Kaiser always does.
We'll
the
need a
honor for
motion
us
from
on
Ms.
that,
Kaiser.
so.
Nobody else would be able to do it.
5:30, one at 5:45, and one at 5:55.
Okay, I make a motion that we go into closed meeting pursuant to the Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711A, 1 and 5, A, Personnel 1, I, all departments including engineering, rental assistance, and registrar, B, economic development updates 5.
Second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye as well. We are in
Thank you.
closed session.
What's those
motion to come out of closed.
Who's that?
That'd be Miss
Is
Kaiser.
Richard
would
back?
you-
Yeah,
We have to
Richard
read the
back.
certification, Peggy.
Okay, I make a motion that whereas the Dickinson County Board of Supervisors has convened a closed meeting on this date pursuant to an affirmative recorded vote and in accordance with the provisions of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, and whereas 2.2-3712 of the Code of Virginia requires a certification by the Dickinson County Board of Supervisors that a closed meeting was conducted in conformity with Virginia law. Now therefore be it resolved that Dickinson County Board of Supervisors hereby certifies that, to the best of each member's knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements by Virginia law were discussed in the closed meeting to which this certification resolution applies, and only such public business matters as identified in the motion convening the closed meeting were heard, discussed, or considered by the Dickinson County Board of Supervisors.
Thank you, Ms. Kaiser. We have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Uh,
Aye as
Yeah, do a
well.
roll call.
You gotta do
Oh,
roll call.
I keep
man.
forgetting that.
well,
Ms.
it's so
Kaiser?
confusing.
Ms. Sluss? Ms. Wills?
Aye.
Mr. Thacker? Aye as well.
Down to
Now,
number
Peggy, will make a motion, won't you?
Well,
down
I'm
to
waiting for
number
him to
20.
call number 20.
Matters discussed in closed meeting.
I'd like to make a motion to hire Chris Mullins as the part-time engineer for the EWPP project.
I'll second it. I don't know if you have to second it or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do have a second.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye as well. Any opposed? All right, welcome on board.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Oh, we'll work you, don't worry.
Sounds like I'm
All right, supervisor comments. Ms. Kaiser, you want to start it off?
I would just like to thank everybody who came out here tonight. We had a pretty good crowd, but only one person spoke in public hearing, which was nice, but everybody had the chance. Appreciate them. Appreciates people's concerns that they have about the county and issues, and bringing them to our attention to see if there's anything we can help with. I appreciate that. Appreciate all of our fire and rescue people. I believe we've been pretty good thus far to not have too many fires to have to send people out on like we have had in the past. And I'm just thankful for a safe trip that me and my husband made last week to Sacramento and back home. Not a place that I really care about living. Too big of a city for me. And just thank all of my board members. Everybody seems to be good, communicate, discuss. I think we have been working with a good board thus far in these 2.5 years. Appreciate Larry and Dana and everybody in our office downstairs for the job that they do to keep things going for us.
I agree with everything Peggy said. I want people to remember that the National Day of Prayer is May the 7th, and there'll be a praying in front of the courthouse at 12 o'clock. I also want to thank VDOT for paving Snowball Holler and Whispering Lane. And I also want to congratulate the Ridgeview track. Some of those people have really set new school records.
Oh, really?
Linda Hill's granddaughter set a school record, and there was a young man, I think, set a school record. And also want to congratulate the girls' tennis team. So far, they've not lost a game. They're doing great. And then I want you to remember Thursday, because we're having the recycling event out here starting at 10, isn't that right, Larry?
Yeah.
Yes.
10 to 3. So if you got,
Three or
it's
two?
been on, Facebook, but you got some old tires or some pesticides or herbicides or something you need, and paper, you bring it out here, well, they'll have a truck here to help you and to recycle. Very important. And I want to thank all of you, and God bless you. God bless America. God bless Dixon County. Go ahead, Chris. I'll shut up.
Richard go.
Richard, yeah. Mr. Packer?
I also want to thank everybody for coming out to the meeting tonight. We had a good crowd, and fire and rescue coming out to about every meeting, and I appreciate them doing that, taking their time. I want to thank the board members for everything that they do, and Larry and all his staff. Everybody does a wonderful job. Thank Will. That's all I have.
I want to thank everyone too that came out, and thank Dana and her, Sabrina, for what they have done, and you for all that you do, Sabrina. And Larry's office, I always thank Larry for all he does. And Will, I appreciate you coming,
Absolutely.
keeping us straight. And I appreciate the proclamation tonight for the old people.
Me too.
It means a lot to me because I turned 80 in December, so I'm so thankful to God for my health and my strength that I have.
Thank you, everybody, and we had a wonderful crowd tonight, and, you know, when you have concerns, this is a place you can come and voice your concerns, and, you know, we all work together to resolve these issues and stuff, and that's what it's about. And everybody up here is, you know, here to serve the county and do the best we can and make it a wonderful place to live, and just like to say, don't forget the food truck rodeo. We have over 400 people come
That
out
was a lot.
to an event.
We were in Copeland.
Yeah, so I think we had a lot of
Big
out of
cheese sticks.
county folks that come over, so that was great. So community participation and communication, that goes a long, long way. So thank each one of you all for making this a great place to serve. And Mr. Barton, like y'all said, and Mr. Cronkite, they go way beyond
The Call of Duty.
their
Yeah.
duties, yeah. So, God bless everybody, and hopes everybody has a wonderful spring.
And Chris got some real pretty flowers.
Yeah, I got one yesterday.
I got 2 today.
Not very planted yet, but I got it.
So now we need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
We just know about
I'll second it.
You can second it,
I'll
Chris.
second it. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes, well.